Hello everyone. How we doing? Welcome to another episode of Building Character with Logan. um, as always, we're proud members of the D20 Radio Network. We are continuing to bring you our audio and working on getting the AP out to you. We are affiliated with Metallic Dice Games. So many of you have been buying dice from them. They are amazing dice. Enter the code STORYTOLD10 into your order, receive 10% off. And we're still partnered with Foolsman Entertainment. They're looking right now for GMs and players to playtest a variety of new games. Check out their social media. Links to that are available. If you can't find them, please let me know and I'll direct you in the right area. So, yes, today, building character. Let's see. This is my fourth one. I'm really excited that I've been able to keep motivation for that. But today I'm going to be making a character for 7th C. Which is role-playing through the amazing world of Thea, of swashbuckling and intrigue. So think like Pirates of the Caribbean. What's also interesting about this game, and that I find really cool, is that all the countries are based off countries here in the real world. You'll see things that are very similar, and with the various source books, a good chunk of the world is covered. Now, I do know there's some criticism that not all of it is great, and that some of it feels a little weird contextually. That's fair. I do not want to take away from any of that at all, but I do think it's cool to see a game about being a good guy and inclusivity. In this game, you're supposed to be a good guy. If you do too many evil things, you end up becoming an NPC, and you'll see some of that in the character creation on how stuff looks. And inclusivity. You have female pirates and sailors and power in this setting. You have open homosexuality. You have trans inclusivity. This game in and of itself has just been super, super inclusive. Or at least tried to be. I'm sure there are things that I have missed, but I think we should call out good behavior when we see it. So, character creation. It's called Making a Hero. And let's see, there's my character sheet. Let's see, it starts on page 116. And I have no idea what I'm going to make now, so I'm going to vamp for a little bit. Each one of these nations that's really cool has their own kind of magic and sorcery, and some of it is widely accepted, some of it is not. Some of it is very gender specific and can only be performed by women. And each of it has a different flavor, which kind of helps, depending on where you want to set your game, gives you a vibe or a flavor for the tone of your game, which I think is really, really cool. Okay, so we are going to start with step 0, concept. Well, good lord, I have no idea. Concepts. Does anyone have an idea for a concept? Yeah, we could go with daring young farm boy, or that could be kind of cool. That'd be like Wesley from Princess Bride. Why don't we do something like that? Because that kind of vibe is perfectly acceptable within the 7th C. So, daring young farm boy. Perfect. Okay, so then it goes into a game of 20 questions. What nation is your hero from? How would you physically describe your hero? Well, I don't know about nation yet. But physically described, I think he's probably, average height, brown, sandy blonde hair, 18-ish to 20, somewhere in there. I don't know. That's weird. I don't understand what that is. OBS is being weird again, but we'll pull through. I think he has one pierced ear, and it will be if left is right and right is wrong, it'll definitely be the right ear. 100%. And I think I think average build. He's new to the world. He's fresh. He's green. Question 3 is, does your hero have a recurring mannerism? I think he smiles when he's nervous. I think that's a good one, right? It makes him kind of cute. Let's just put here in advantages so I don't forget. You can see my beautiful, I mean by beautiful, my awful typing. Nervous. See, look at that, can't spell. I don't know why there's a W in there. Okay. What is your hero's main motivation? Okay, so that's question number 4. I think that he is probably just seeking adventure. He probably wants to put his foot in the world, make his mark, and not be forgotten or sidelined. I think maybe being a farm boy and coming from the country, he probably has this perception that he's not as worthy or deserving to be a hero, and I think that's really what he wants to find out and discover. I think that's a cool thing. So this goes into other things here, like greatest strength and weakness, least favorite things, psychology, their greatest fear, ambitions, opinions of his country, which I'm sure I'll have some once I decide what it is. But I kind of want to get there, look at them, and kind of talk to you about what each of them is. Does he have any prejudices? Where are his loyalties? Is he in love? I don't know. He might be. If I have time to make 2 characters, maybe I'll make his boyfriend. His hero's family. How would his parents describe her? Is your hero a gentle? What does that mean? Being a gentle means your hero attempts to follow the code of chivalry. Oh, I imagine he probably is. But I don't see him as being remarkably religious. Hero member of a guild, gentles club, or secret society? Not yet. That is something sort of like a secret society. You get bonuses from them and things, but you have to qualify to be in them. And it's also not just a mechanical thing in terms of what's on your sheet, but it's also a role play thing that has to come up and be organic and play. What does your hero think of sorcery? I think he probably thinks it's cool because I might try to find a way to do it. We'll see what happens. If you could, what advice would you give your hero? I don't know. I want my hero to give me advice. How about that? My hero can give me advice. Right? Works for me. Okay, so now you go into your traits. Every hero has 5 traits. You see it on the sheet there. Brawn, finesse, resolve, wit, and panache. Brawn is physical might. Finesse is agility. Resolve is willpower, but also endurance. Wits is how quickly you think on your feet, your intuition. And your panache is your style. They each start off at 2, and you get 2 additional points to race things. I think he probably has a pretty ironclad resolve, so I'm going to put one of my points in there. And as much as I want to do panache, I don't know if he's there yet, but I do think he's cleverer than most, so we're going to go with wits. Now you get your nation bonus. Now, here's where we go into the nations. I'm going to kind of give you a little brief description of each of them. Or try to. I mean, it's been a while. There is a lot of information. Okay. You know what? Bear with me. I'm going to look this up. Because there has to be a more succinct way to describe all this to you. 7th C. Okay, here we go. This will kind of give you... Okay, so all the major European powers have representations in Thea. So you have Avalon, the Kingdoms of Avalon, which is England. You have Castile, which is Spain. Montaigne, which is France. I like Montaigne. Their sorcery is kind of like this blood sorcery, but I don't think that's where I'm going to go. Eisen is Germany. Usura is Russia. Vendel, Major, I can't pronounce that, is the Netherlands and Scandinavia. And Vadachi is Italy. There's also Ennismore, which is like Scotland. And then you get in the other books that have like the Crescent Empire, the Midnight Archipelago, and Cathay, which is like China, Korea, Tibet. And then the Samaritan Commonwealth, which is like a Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. So, let's see. You know what? I kind of like the idea of Avalon. They have like fairy magic, and I think that could be really cool for this like youth discovering the world. Let's see. And now you get a nation bonus to your traits. And Avalon is either +1 panache or +1 resolve. Now, I could see arguments for both of these. He just has that will of his people or whatever, and make his resolve really ironclad. But I think that would make, if I did that, I'd want him to be older rather than this like kind of youth, kind of searching for himself and finding himself. So I think he just has kind of a natural rakishness, and I did want panache higher earlier too. So we're gonna go ahead and put the dot into there. Excuse me, I have the hiccups. Next is backgrounds, and this is things like restrictions, quirks, advantages, skills, more like, and all of these encompass all of this, so they'll go like all over the sheet in terms of what they do. But this is sort of things like a special school you went to, or a certain kind of upbringing you had, just like what they say. Now you get 2. So just to note, you pick 2 different backgrounds from the list, and you get all of your background's advantages. If you have duplicate advantages, take another advantage of the same point cost, your choice, and you get 1 rank in all of your background skills. If you have duplicate skills, add 1 more point, meaning a skill could be 2. So let's see. Actually, it's right here. Farm Kid is one of the actual backgrounds. I will absolutely take that, because that distinctly encapsulates who he is. Let's see, what does Farm Kid do? You're raised on a small farm, working to survive, and have never known the life of adventure. Quirk, you earn a hero point when you solve a complex problem in a simple, tried and true method from back on the farm. Hero points let you do things within the game. You spend them to succeed better, I believe. It's been a long time since I played or anything, but it's kind of like a pool of points you get to use to your advantage. Okay, so my advantages with Farm Boy, or Farm Kid, excuse me, are legendary trait, we'll look up what that does in a second, and survivalist. And then I get a skill point in athletics, convince, empathy, perform, and ride. I feel like that all kind of tracks for kind of what I'm envisioning. I do hope I get a point in weaponry, though. Okay, so that's from the basic backgrounds. Now, I could, because he is from Avalon, I believe I could take a Glamour Island or an Avalon background. I could even, I think, take an Innismore or Highland Marshes, which would be Scotland and Ireland, if I wanted to, but I don't think any of those were. Do I want to go magic and have him be a knight errant when imbued with the legendary fairy magic of the Knights of King Elenod? That could be cool. But I don't know if I know how he became a knight. So what if? Let's see, orphan. No. I don't know. This is tough. Because this would really shape up. Archaeologist, aristocrat. Let's see here. Army officer, no. Artist, doesn't work. Cavalry, courtier, crafter, criminal, doctor. Hunter. Oh, no. I could go with explorer. In fact, I did kind of say he wanted to make his mark and see the world. So let's just go with that and not take something kind of like super hyper specific. Now, explorer gives quick reflexes and second story work, and we're going to look up what those are in just a second. And then it gives me the skill of athletics again. Bam. Convince again. Oh, okay, he's being very focused. Empathy again. Ride again. And a dot of sailing. Okay, I kind of like that. I mean, I think it all makes sense. Cool. Okay, so we go into skills after this. So now I get 10 points to add to my existing skills. Let's see. I do think he should probably have a dot of brawl. I think he should have a dot of intimidate. Maybe 2. He is a farm kid. He's probably like beefy. I kind of like that. So brawl, 2 in intimidate. So that's 1, 2, 3. We're gonna put 1 into notice. 2 into weaponry. So where am I at now? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 4 left. Let's do another into notice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3. I think I'll do another in athletics. I'm going to go with 1 in scholarship. I think he's probably had to learn how to read and write and learned things on the road since he's been here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 2 left. I'm sure he probably has to hide on occasion, so we'll do one of those. And he's a good kid. He's a good kid. Let's go empathy, and like that will beef up that panache a little bit, I think. I don't know. I'm happy with that. Okay. So, I mean, those skills are pretty self-explanatory on what they do. Okay, so step 5 is you can buy more advantages. You have 5 points. But first, before I do that, I want to look at what my 4 advantages that I have right now are. So let's start with legendary. Let's see. Okay, so legendary trait is a 4-point advantage. Choose a trait. When you roll a risk using that trait, remove 1 die from your pool before you roll that die. Before you roll, that die is always considered to roll a 10. If your 10s explode, your free legendary trait 10. So basically, it's a trait that he is like really, really, really known for. So I really like Panache. I think that's a secondary to him. I think his legendary trait is his resolve. And I think, and again, I haven't figured out a name for him. Oh, let's see. He's 19. Let's do that. Wealth. Okay, I guess we'll get to that later. And I haven't come up with a name. If you guys have any ideas for names, think something like archaically English or weirdly Fey. I don't know. I'm willing to take suggestions on the name, so please throw things out. I'd be happy to look at those. I'll probably even choose one. Okay, so next we'll need to find survivalist. Now this is probably going to be like a 1-point advantage. It is, because I think each background gives you about 5 points in advantages. So, survivalist. If you're in the wilderness, you can forage or hunt and find enough food for yourself and up to 5 other people. Cool. Under extreme circumstances, lost in the middle of a desert or abandoned in the Usaran tundra, for example. Okay, so basically it helps you find food for your party. That is brilliant. Okay, so next we're looking for quick reflexes and second story work. So second story work is a 2-point advantage. You can spend a hero point to locate a way into a building or restricted area. So he's scrappy. Okay, cool. And then OP, quick reflexes. Choose 1 skill. You always take actions as if you had an additional raise to spend when you use that skill. For example, if a hero has a quick reflexes with weaponry and rolls 3 raises for that skill, she takes her first action at 4 raises. That's something to do with the mechanics and the way the dice work and everything. So quick reflexes. I think... I actually kind of think I want to go with empathy on that. I think he just kind of understands people. It's like he has this gut understanding of how people work and who they are and what makes them special or evil. Who knows? That's not what I wanted to do. Okay, so I have 5 points in advantages. No suggestions yet? Man, okay. Well, I hope to see them soon. Okay. You take large. You get 1 bonus die on any risk that is easier to do for your size. I might do that, but let's see what else we have. What is this? Ah, okay. So some of these advantages have this thing that looks like a K with them, and if you pick one of those, they require a hero point. And then some of them have this little symbol of a little man, it almost looks like a meeple. That if you take that, it's innate, so it can only be taken at character creation. Huh. You know what? Okay, so I want to make him... I'm kind of making him a little bit more rakish the more and more I do this. 1 second, my computer is freaking out. Man, OBS is not kind to my computer, friends. It is not kind. But we'll pull through. Okay, so my advantages, I think I want to take Disarming Smile. And that, I spend a hero point to keep another character from drawing a weapon, starting a fight, or resorting to violence. Okay, so that's a 2-point advantage. I have 3 points left. Let's see, let's look at some 3-pointers. Foul-weather Jack. Opportunist. Patron, quick reflexes. Rich, nope. Sniper, tenure. Virtuoso. None of those really do much for me. Do I need the 4-point? Maybe I'll get rid of the Disarming Smile and see. No, actually. So let's go back to these 2-point advantages, and I'll do 2 2-points and a 1. Okay, so here we go. Indomitable Will. Well, that's a choice. I don't understand why Acrobat is doing this. This is so weird. I pay for it like every month, and it just like behaves insane. Reynard. Ooh, I like Reynard. It might be a little French though. Is there like a more English version of that, or is that English? I don't know. If I'm wrong, please correct me. But Reynard could work. Reynard could work. Okay, so I have 4 points of my 5 points in advantages. And I have 1 left. Ooh, let's see. Linguist would be cool, but it makes absolutely no sense. I could take small or large, but I think he's more average height. He already has survivalist. He's definitely not foreign-born. I'm kind of torn between direction sense and time sense. Time sense, he would always know when it is, and direction sense, he would always know where he is. Well, not exactly. Oh, Una. It's okay. It's okay. I think I'm going to go direction sense, because Una thinks that's a good idea. She barked when I mentioned it, so I'm going to take that as a yes. Maybe someday I'll put her on camera, too. We'll see. She's a glutton for attention, I will say. Okay. So, after that, you choose your Arcana. And these is like you were touched by fate, more or less. So, okay. You have 2 Arcana. You have your Virtue and your Hubris. Sorry, it's been a while. And these are all based on the tarot cards, or they are based on tarot cards. It's called the Sorta deck, which they also made, and I can pull it out some other time and show people if they want to see. You can activate your Virtue once per session. You can activate your Hubris once per session, and it gives you a hero point. these let you do things. Okay, so let's see. I think my virtue is probably the road. And that means friendly. And I think that he's probably a little naive in some respects. I'm wondering if there is. Okay, well, while I think about that, I can activate friendly to activate virtue when I meet a character, even a villain, for the first time, and they treat me as friendly for one scene. And I can do this once per session, and I think that really ties into his like how he is, and like this like beautiful ingenue like naivete that I kind of see him having. Like he's like this simple farm boy who's like trying to be plucky. Let's see. So I'll type all that out later. But I saw earlier that his hubris. There's one for trusting. And it's kind of weird. You're saying trusting is good. Trust is good, right? Well, not in this case. When you have the devil as your hubris and you're trusting, you receive a hero point when you accept someone's lies or lopsided deal, meaning he's just a little too gullible and he gets himself into a little bit of trouble. Okay. Let's see if we go on the sheet here. Arcana. So we're going to put the road, the devil. Eventually there we go. Religion, we're going to put TBD. Because honestly, I don't necessarily see him as religious, but if you wanted to play him and you saw him as religious, I want you to know that that is completely your choice. Oh, I guess these... God, what is with this PDF? It's so bizarre. It's giving me shingles, to quote a movie. Bonus points to you if you know the movie. Okay, so now we're into step 7 where you choose a story. So here's what it says, because this is a little bit of a weirder thing that this game does. While heroes work together to tell a larger story, every hero has her own story to tell. Your hero is no different. The promise you made to your father in his deathbed, the man whose wrongful testimony sent you to prison for all these years, the woman who... choose. So you start a story, and this is like a personal goal, and your XP is tied into it, and your progression is about like hitting milestones with it. Now, I think that his story is about leaving his mark on the world. I think that he wants to be remembered. He wants to be a real hero and prove himself to those that said he couldn't be. And so that's basically that. Let's see. So I think I'm just going to say story here just to make a note for myself. Be the hero he knows he can be and leave a mark on the world. And what you would do with your GM is you develop steps for completing this story. And yeah, that's basically that. So step 8 is the details, is reputation. Oh, I forgot that this is like a one-pager. Okay, let's see what reputation is. Your hero usually earns a reputation over the course of play unless she purchases an advantage to let you start with some reputation. It's a single descriptive word. So he doesn't have a reputation yet. He can speak a number of languages equal to his wits. So I can speak Old Thayan and Avalonian. And I get to choose another language. But what language? I think maybe. That's what we'll do. We'll do Montehuian, I guess. I don't know. That's what I'm gonna call it. Sure, that's what we're gonna go with. Okay, so romance. Sorry, just double checking some stuff here. Okay, cool. So after languages, secret society, he's not going to do that. Wealth points. Can always afford bare necessities. How much wealth do you start with? Oh, unless otherwise stated because of advantages, your wealth begins at 0 every session. So it's something that like you have to build. So bare necessities. Now at this point I would choose probably a couple weapons, some armor, some interesting pieces of equipment to make him stand out and unique. So let's see, I did take weaponry 2 and brawl 1. So let's look at some equipment here. Equipment does function a little differently from what I remember, though, too. Huh. Well, this is confusing, because I don't remember how this works. I feel... Sorry to be so quiet, I'm just looking for this, everyone. I think... Maybe I'm just misremembering it, but I guess you don't really need an equipment list, because I think it's more like base stat kind of stuff. So what I will say is that 7th Sea is pretty narrative. And it rewards daring and flavor and exposition. Whereas the mechanics are more like secondary to what you always kind of do. Okay, so, well, you know, why don't I name him Reynard? Maybe maybe there's a reason he was French. Maybe his mother was French and she chose a French name, because it sounds very French, not French, Montehuian, to me. Or maybe his father was from there. Reynard Dulac. And his mother was English. Yeah, so his English last name, his mother's last name is Owens. But I think he might go by Reynard Dulac now that he's gone. But no, I got it. Okay. His father is Avalonian. His mother is Montehuian. When he ran away from home, he took her name in order to hide. His real name is Reynard Owens, but he calls himself Reynard Dulac. And that's why Owens will be in parentheses. There we go. Come through. So we have about half their time left. I think I should make a second character because, as you see, it's fairly quick. So we're just going to save this real quick and start anew. Desktop. And both of these will be posted on the blog along with my thoughts next Monday. I'm really enjoying those. If you really enjoy those, please also to let me know. I would love to get your thoughts on those. I'm going to see if there's a comment section that I can add to that, but I'm not sure. I'm still kind of learning my way around all that. So building character, Reynard. Bam. Okay, so we're going to close this and reopen it. Make sure that my screen is still working, right? Yeah. I'm learning OBS. I'm learning OBS. It took me long enough, right? And I did okay, so I promised 2 characters. So let's focus here a little bit. But now that we've kind of gone through it, this will be a little bit easier too. Okay. So let's see. So concept. I think a disgraced knight of some sort. Okay. Yeah, and I'll put up some notes about him and the thing, but I think basically he was this knight, probably of Montaigne. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's just bring this whole English and French rivalry all up to the forefront. So I need a name for him too. Everyone, if you want to give me a suggestion, that'd be awesome. I think he served the court, and I think he was caught up in an intrigue that went south and lost his reputation, and he had to flee the country. And so that would be a perfect setup for this game to be set in Avalon, this beautiful, epic kind of romance kind of situation kind of going on. Cool. Okay, so... Okay, so I get to choose 2 more. I think he's brawny. He's a man. And I always love some panache, so we're gonna go with panache. But I get to either pick +1 finesse or panache. I think though that I'm going to go with, because he was so courtly and into the intrigue and everything, I'm gonna go with panache. So the funny thing is he just has an average resolve and wits. That's probably why he became disgraced. Let's be real. Okay, so my backgrounds. Courtier. I think one of his backgrounds has to be courtier. It just has to be. So that gives me an honest misunderstanding. And friend at court. He might be disgraced, but he still has a friend. I like that. And it gives me the skills of empathy, perform, ride, tempt, and weaponry. I did say it gives me all the skills, right? I'm like, ah! Yes, you do get all the skills. And I am purposely making this more like a secondary character because Reynard, our first character, is kind of the hero. This is that background flavor. I'm weird tonight, everyone. I do apologize. I've lost my damn mind. Okay. So let's look at Montaigne backgrounds. Leroy. Ooh. Oh, I could take this one that's kind of like more like the musketeer thing, or musketeer, revolutionaire. I could take sorcery. I don't really think he's a blood sorcerer though. So basically, the blood sorcery of France I gotta keep calling it France. It's not France, but it's France. But Montaigne is, they open portals with blood. It's fucking wild. It's really cool. And, funny story, we covered 7th Sea when the podcast first started. It was one of the very first episodes we released. The character we made was a blood sorcerer. Maybe we could combine all 3 of them together for some kind of fun. I don't know. That could be a cool game. Maybe we can make it happen. You know what? I think I am gonna go with the Mousquetaire, which is like a musketeer. So Mousque. My French is awful. Please say nothing and just say, Logan, it's beautiful. Oh my god, you have the best French ever. It is just wonderful. Thank you guys. Y'all are awesome. Okay, so this will give you camaraderie and quick reflexes. And again, quick reflexes, it lets you do that thing with the 10s. We saw that with the past character. I'll look up what camaraderie does in just a moment when we choose my other advantages. Advantages. Camaraderie. There we go. And quick reflexes. Okay. So again, the 10 skill points. Wait, why do I feel like there was... Oh, I didn't put in my skills for my second background. I'm sorry, everyone. I've lost my mind. I told you this. Don't believe a word I say. Ooh, I'm getting a message on Discord. Ooh, I'll respond to that in a little bit. Okay, aim. And then intimidate. Wow, he is quite a generalist. He's not as hyper-focused as our good Reynard is, but that might be a good thing. Aim, intimidate, notice, ride, and weaponry. Well, that tracks. Okay, so, I didn't do this, or I didn't mention this on the first character, on Reynard, but you can only start with a skill at rank 3. You cannot go higher than that at character creation, so that is known. Okay, so weaponry, I see him as being, like, having a lot of, like, just bravado with his blade. I think he is fairly well educated, having grown up at court. I think he can probably ride really well and perform. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Should probably have some athletics. 6, 7, 8. 9. And I think he probably has a little bit of warfare knowledge. He is, after all, a knight, technically. I think that makes sense. Okay, so now I go into my advantages. Let's look at some 5-point advantages. Let's just live a little. Dualistic cat. Ooh, I could. Ooh. Do I dare? Ooh, I think. Ooh. I think he went to a duelist academy. Oh, that's tempting. That is 5 points. That is all 5 of my advantages. Oh. I don't know, guys. I'm gonna do it. Duelist academy. Let me make sure though that this isn't like banned from like beginning play, because I don't want to do that. I would really love to make him a duelist. I think that could be really cool. Advantages. Okay. No restrictions. So, Dueling Academy. So I can choose a dueling style. If you purchase this advantage again, you get an additional dueling style. So I look at the dueling chapter for more information. So this is where I get to choose my academy, and I think there's a lot of different academies. I'm pretty sure like one per nation. I think every nation has kind of their own style. So dueling, page 236. Okay. It's Castilians. Udache. Oh, there's like a lot of these. And I guess you can... I think I might go the Valro. The Valro style of fighting is one of several that uses a fencing weapon in the primary hand and a main gauche in the offhand. The fighting style is technically defensive, with the main gauche used only to parry. Students of the style call attention to openings they could have exploited, generally humiliate their opponents, and finish them off whenever the duel grows wearisome. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go the Valro. It feels appropriately Montahan, right? And Valro Press is the special ability. And what that does is when you wield a fencing sword in your right hand and a dagger in your left, you can perform a special maneuver called the Valro Cross. The Valro Cross prevents wounds equal to your weaponry, and you choose a maneuver you know your opponent can perform on her next action. Performing any other maneuver costs your opponent an additional raise. Nice. That's cool. That's neat. So we have like a duelist with a friend at court. Okay, so let's look at these other ones. So an honest misunderstanding. Those are backgrounds, not what we want. Not what we want at all. Da, da, da. So friend at court, since I'm on the page, when you're at a ball, feast, or similarly high society function, spend a hero point to reveal you have a close friend also in attendance. That actually kind of makes sense. Which means an honest misunderstanding would be a 3-point advantage. Oh, cool. It lets you spend a hero point to edit or redact or otherwise alter something you or another hero just said, reinterpreting the words into the kindest compliment. Nice. Nice. So quick reflexes is a 2, right? Or is it a 3? So quick reflexes is a 3, so that means camaraderie is a 2-point advantage. Except it's not. Well, what the fuck? Oh, okay. It is normally a 3-point advantage, but because I am Montaigne, it is a 2. So whenever you spend a hero point to aid an ally, they gain 4 dice instead of 3. That's perfect. He's actually a good kid. Oh, what should I name him? I need a really good Frenchy kind of sounding name. Please leave it in the comments while I work on Arcana. Virtuous, no, altruistic, adaptable. I do think my hubris is going to be the hero. Ironic, considering the other character is the hero. But it basically means foolhardy. I think he jumps in before he should. He doesn't tend to think as quickly as he should. It lets him receive a hero point when his brash, cocky, or reckless actions cause trouble for you and another hero. I think that he causes trouble for himself a lot, which is why he is kind of disgraced. Now I need to choose his virtue. That's the thing with him. I don't know. I just don't know. Willful, friendly, fortunate, astute, trusted, no, humble, no, intuitive, victorious. You know, I'm gonna go with the sun, glorious. Activate your virtue when you're in the center of attention. For the next risk, when you determine raises, every die counts as a raise. Okay, cool. So he's just a badass. Let's see. Let's make him 22. Montaigne. TBD. But probably the state religion of Montaigne. I'd have to double check on that. The sun / the hero. Still need Jacques. Yes, I like Jacques. He needs a surname though. He is a knight. I can't put the accent on that E. Usually I can just press the button down and it'll do it. I'm going to say, so Jacques Rose, but I want to change that. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Story. I think his story is one of redemption. Sorry. And love. This is a little love story. I think 7th Sea is a beautiful game to tell love stories in because you just get to be as passionate and over the top and just beautifully campy as you can and still be a good guy. I love it. I think it's great. So details, reputation. Reputation starts off at 0, or doesn't start with anything unless you take an advantage. Wealth starts at 0. That's fine. He is exiled. I think a quirk is he has... I want to give him a quirk to start with. What is a quirk? I think maybe he blushes easily. Probably gets him into a lot of trouble. Yeah. Okay, and his wits is 2, so he knows Old Thayan, which, according to the book, everyone knows. So that way everyone can kind of communicate with each other. I will get that spelled correctly later. Okay, we're going to leave that as Sir Jacques for right now. And I think Sir Jacques came from like a minor family. His father was probably a knight. He inherited the knighthood. Probably his sisters that are trying to be married off. He's no one important. But he was skilled enough with the blade to become a musketeer and got caught up in an intrigue and it backfired. All landing on his shoulders. And, you know. He is now man without country. He is now in Avalon trying to redeem himself. Which would make me want to take like a secret society, but I don't think this character is appropriate for it yet. I think that's something that he would have to grow into. But you can start with them. I just am choosing not to do that. He went to a dueling academy and is quite proficient. And so Jacques and Reynard are destined to fall in love. Well, that is about it, guys. I know I kind of went through that second one really, really quickly, but I kind of hope you see that not all character creation has to be super complicated. This is very easy, and you can have endless amounts of fun with this. It's fairly freeform and moldable to what you want and need. And I find this style to be really indicative of more narrative-style games. This one just has a little bit more mechanical crunch to it than a lot of others. You'll see some other things on the sheet, like the death spiral. Basically, you have wounds, and then dramatic wounds are the stars, wounds are the circles, and they fill that up. When it's filled, you die. But yeah. that is character creation for 7th C. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I've really begun to enjoy doing this. And yeah, I guess if you have any ideas for next week on things maybe I should create or something, just hop on the Discord. Links are all over our Twitch page. Let me know what you'd like to see, kind of what you'd like to talk about, and I will try to fit it in. I already have some great ideas if that doesn't happen, but I would also love to hear from you. Thank you so much. Have a good night, and have a great rest of your week. Thank you. Bye-bye.